This week on That Garage, well, we get to see what's happened to Dude. I think I just blew the motor up. I reckon I just need to quit building motors. Yes, sir. Anyways, I'll tell you about it here in a minute. Well, I was taking off from that red light right over yonder. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. As soon as I hit the gas, I heard a rattling, a dead miss. I ain't got a clue, man. It's rattling like a rocker arm banging around in the valve cover. Like the Ford sounded like when we broke a rocker arm or a rocker stud. Well, I've already took both valve covers off. Ain't nothing wrong with rockers or push rods. It's either something in the lifter valley, could be the blower come apart some kind of way, or could be on down in the motor. Ain't got a clue, fellas. Somebody's coming to pick me up. As soon as I get here, I'm gonna go get my truck trailer. We'll load the feller up and take it back to the shop and see what happened. Well, I got the truck and trailer headed to go get Dude, and I thought I smelled gasolines just a minute ago. Y'all see that? Yeah, we done sprung a leak on the fuel line. Hey, when it rains, it pours, fellas. Let me shut it down and fix that. Well, I got it changed out or cut off. I had this little extra piece from, I had, you know, when we had the Holly on here, a dual feed. I guess I had to put that on there because this is a front inlet. Come off like an Oldsmobile or Pontiac. Shimmy lays, they went into the side on the Quadrajets. Anyway, took this piece off and it's just cracked all to pieces. That hose ain't that old. Look at that. What in the world, man? Anyways, I guess it's a good thing that I put Daddy's old tool pouch in here a few months ago. I used to have it in the S10. I thought, you know what? This thing here's more apt to break down, so I put his old tool pouch in here. Sure glad I did. Anyways, let's hit the road and maybe we won't break down anymore. Well, I finally made it to the truck. I got her hooked up. I did have to fire it up because it was over yonder. And I forgot my remote, so I'm having to use the cabled remote thing. So I had to fire it up and get it lined up with the trailer. Boy, she's rattling, won't hardly run. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's something like the blower, something simple. Anyways, let's get it loaded up, get it to the house. Well, it's been about 3.5 weeks since old Dude here did whatever he's done to the motor. I haven't touched it since I rode it off the trailer. Let me play musical cars and get that one out of the way. We'll get him in the shop and hopefully it's nothing major. We'll tear into it and see. Let me fire it up. This is going to be a cold start. I want to see if the rattle's worse, or it may have went away, but I kind of doubt it. I want y'all to hear the rattle. If it ain't too bad, well, we'll back it in, you know, pull it in the shop there. If it is bad, well, we're gonna have to push, pull, and drag it in there. Fire in the old hole. It's still there.
Give it a shot.
Well, here's the deal. I just found another clue to our troubleshooting endeavor. I come back here to shut the door. I got a wee bit of trail of antifreeze. Well, I came back up here, pulled the cap off the radiator, and let me just show you. Can y'all see down in there? Probably not. Let me get the light. There is no radiator fluid as far as the eye can see. This ain't good. I'm looking for a hole in the block at this point. I sure am. I ain't seen one yet, but tell you what, let's raise it up and maybe I can tell where that radiator fluid is dripping from at least. Well, I have searched and searched all over this motor looking for any evidence of antifreeze dripping. I ain't found a bit. Well, then I come back here and saw a bunch on the floor. There's a puddle there and a puddle there. Well, then I looked up at the rear end. Let me set the light up so y'all can maybe see a little better. The rear end is soaking wet. When you look here, we got antifreeze dripping off of it because coming out the exhaust. Look at the water dripping off my finger, fellas. This ain't good. Nope, sure ain't. We have another catastrophic engine failure, so I think it's time that I just quit building motors. If I can't do any better than this, no, I need to hang it up, I guess. I don't know what to do right now. If it's just a head gasket's not gonna make it knock. Let me let it down and I will discuss maybe plans of what I'm gonna do. Well, let me show y'all what I discovered when I was sitting on the side of the road when it first started doing this. I was pulling the valve covers, looking at the rocker arms. First thing I noticed was spark plug wire for number 246. Well, let me pull it off and show you. See this right here? It's basically burned in two. Well, it was laying over on the header, just like that right there. So dude has had a dead cylinder for I don't know how long. I do remember it was last summer, or I don't really remember. But I got in dude one day and rode down the road and I thought, he don't feel like he's got the power he had. Well, we've been running on 7 cylinders for I don't know how long. Did we dyno him on 7 cylinders? That would be interesting to know. I don't think so, but it's possible. But he's been down 50 horsepower. If you do the math, 1 cylinder dead on 400 horsepower, he's been down 50 horsepower for quite some time. Well, when I fired him up, sitting on the side of the road after I saw this spark plug wire, I pushed it over here, fired him up, and white smoke came out, but then it went away. It scared me at first because I thought head gasket or hole in the piston, something like that. Well, it cleared up and it hasn't smoked since. I don't know what's going on, fellas. I don't know if this is the cylinder, him running, not firing on that cylinder for so long. Did it do something and cause this damage, whatever's going on? Don't know. Let's pull that plug out, stick our camera down in there and see what we see. Let us get us, plugus, podus alice of us, this is motorists. What's chaos? Oh yeah. I wonder if water's gonna come pouring out of the cylinder. Let's see. No, don't see none, but she's definitely wet. The end of the spark plug is smashed, so there's something inside that cylinder that is broke. That's real good. Yep. Great news. See the end of this plug? Let me see. Get up here. See how she's smashed? There's something bouncing around in that cylinder. Let me get my camera. Great googly moogly in the morning. I pulled the valve cover off. All the rocker arms there's none loose, like a valve might have broke and dropped down in the cylinder. I don't know. This is going to be a new one on me, I think. What do we have? Let me hit record. Maybe we can record this here video. There's the piston. It's full of fluid. well, not full, but there's definitely antifreeze. Let me swap the camera angle if I remember how to do that. Is it right here? No. Oh, you can't do it while we're recording. I forgot. All right, let me stop the recording. Swap camera angle. What are we looking at here? That's an intake valve. There's the exhaust valve. Well, fellas, I don't know, because both valves are there. I mean, I can understand the head gasket blowing, but what is the rattling noise? What has beat that spark plug half to death? Unless there's a piece of something in that puddle of water, I ain't got a clue. I really don't. Let me leave the camera in here and try to turn the motor over by hand. Let's just make sure that piston is moving up and down, because it's a good possibility we got a broke rod, but still don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. Very confused. All right, there's the piston. I'm gonna hit record. Then I gotta get over here some kind of way and grab a hold of something, turn this motor. I ain't got no fan to grab a hold of. Let's turn this where I can see it too. Oh yeah, I can't turn it. Ooh! Let me pull a wire off of the distributor, that way it don't fire up. And I'm gonna briefly bump the starter, and I'll look at the camera and see if it's turning over or not. Ignition unplugged. Let me go hit the starter. Let me make sure my camera's out of the way, because I don't want to smash it. All right, that should be plenty. Let's see what happened. Did it move up and down? I don't know if I'll be able to use this in the video and the editing, because it's a weird frame rate, so I'll put it right here. As soon as I get it, you know, where it needs to be, and we'll see if the piston's moving up and down or not. Okay, piston went up and down. So, not a broke rod, fellas. I'm at a loss right now. Well, I did about 2 minutes of thinking, and I ain't come up with nothing. I did pull the dipstick, and yeah, all the wooders are in the bottom of the motor. It's right there, and full, you know, it's gonna be way down here. So yeah, she's full of the antifreezes. Let's pull the valve cover, and then I want to spin the motor over. Let's just see if all the valve train's moving. If it's not, then it may be something in the lifter valley that's come loose that's banging around. I mean, I don't know. We got to start troubleshooting somewhere. That's the easiest thing I can think of to do right now. Come over there, man. Get out of here, you son of a gun. You get out of here too, you son of a gun. All right. Valve cover is off. Here's something that I noticed. This baffle has been smashed. Right there. See it? That may be another sign. Let's see. It would be this one here that would have smashed it, and that is the intake for. Oh yeah, it's off to the side. I see now. Yep. I just popped it back on, you know, their self-lining rockers. It was cocked to the side, so that's another sign. Yep, sure is. Let me get my starter gun, hook it up, and we'll spin it over and see what it does. Finally got it hooked up. Let's spin it and watch these two, because that's cylinder 6 right there. What do we have happen? There ain't nothing wrong with them. Or moving up and down. Let me watch the rest of them. Well, battery's about dead. Let me put the charger on it, but I don't see nothing wrong there. Battery charger is charging. I want to do a compression check on that cylinder, but sometimes they'll blow a head gasket in between cylinders. So let's pull out 4 and 8 and just see if there's any wooders inside of them. You know, just give us some more clues as to what's going on. Now, why that rocker was kicked off like that, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't see that causing the rattle though, so I'm well, there went my socket. I'm still confused on that. What do cylinder 8 look like? It's wet. Yep. Yep, sure is. So it's probably blown in between them two. I thought it acted like or sounded like it was missing on more than one cylinder. Let me pull 4. See what we got. But we're definitely pulling at least one head. Yep. Number 4 is clean. Okay, so it's blown between 6 and 8. Well, let me look in cylinder 8, and then we'll start pulling this apart. Cylinder 8, what do you have in store for us? Yep, she's pretty wet. Yep. Let me hit the different view here. It's definitely got liquid. Oh, look here, we got us a piece of metal. Somebody explain it though, because cylinder 6 is the one with the mashed spark plug. But we got a small piece of metal in cylinder 8. Let me record this. Maybe it'll record, I don't know. And I'll show y'all. Right there in the middle of the screen, that's a tiny piece of metal. Where'd that come from? I don't know, fellers. Let's pull the head and see what we got. Well, it just hit me. The rattling could be that rocker arm that slipped off a little bit, you know, and it's been hitting the baffle and smashed it. That's possibly where the rattling has come from. What caused that? One question. Where's the piece of metal that smashed number 6 spark plug? Well, it's probably out the exhaust, but where did it come from? More important question. And number 8 cylinder has a piece of metal in it. Where did it come from? Has the blower come apart and then, you know, sent shards of aluminum through the motor? I don't know. Tell you what, let's pull the belt off the blower, spin it, see if it sounds abnormal, and then we'll just go tearing it apart and get this head off over here at least. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I gotta get a new light because this in here, it flickers and it dims the longer it stays on. You turn it off, turn it back on, the flicker goes away and it gets bright again. I don't understand it, but hey, next time I go to town, I'm gonna get a new light. This is going in the garbagerie. All right, let's pull this here belt off real quick like. Spin the blower. Does not sound abnormal. Nope. Let me show y'all this real quick. When I popped the hood, when it first started making noise, I was sitting on the side of the road. Well, this carb stud, the threads in this carb are stripped. See how that's, I can just pull it in and out. Well, when I popped the hood, it was sitting like that, and I guess it could have sucked something down in here and went in the motor, but I don't see how it got past the blower. Well, I guess it could though, yeah, because they're only a 2-lobe each rotor, and yeah, it could have, yeah, it could have. Anyway, let's get her tore apart and see what's going on. Ooh. Well, there went that one. Get you out of the way over here. One carburetor device removed. Probably gonna tear that base gasket up. I'll have to buy a new one. Oh yeah, come on out, buddy. Y'all look here, fellers. I was rotating the blower and looking the rotors over. Right there, see that spot? That's raised. Something come through the blower. I believe I was correct on that. Let's look at the rest. I don't see anything right off on this one. Now let's roll it on over and look at this in here. Don't see nothing. Well, there's a, yep, raised spot, raised spot. Yep, I believe that's what happened. Now you see these, I don't know if you can see it or not. They're like lines going this way. Well, I crashed this blower when it was on the car because, I don't know if you remember, that intake had twisted and moved around on me. Well, it made this case move around a little bit. It crashed the blower. That's why we're only making about 4 psi. This blower should do, it was doing 7 or 8, I believe, on that car. But that's why, because there's so much leakage. When this goes by the side of the case, all these little things here, it leaks a little bit of boost. That's why it's only doing about 4 psi. Yep, see, they're real bad here. It's just an old wore out piece of junk is what it is. Anyway, I think I'm correct on what's happened though. Yep. Let's get her tore apart the rest of the way. Let's see, look down this intake. Do we see any metal? Not right offhand. Let's get it tore apart. Before I go any further, I gotta clean up where the mice have drug acorns or whatnot on top of this intake. Let me get a 9/16 wrench. We'll pull that distributor out. After, wait a minute. I forgot to take a picture of where the rotor is. Let me do that. Kaplow. All right, come here. Get out the way. You get out the way. And you come up out of there, man. Something else I gotta do. Let me explain that to you real quick. I've got to get a melanized gear for this distributor. They're not cheap. When you go with a roller cam, it don't make any sense. I thought the roller cam things were harder than this, but apparently not. A regular old cast iron distributor gear will wear that gear out. If you go with a melanized goes with any type of cam material. So I got to get a melanized gear for this. Don't y'all let me forget it, because it'll wear that cam gear out if it hasn't already. We'll look at it. Once I get the intake, we'll look down in there and see what it looks like. Y'all watch how much brighter this gets. I'm going to turn this light off and right back on. See how much brighter it is? It's the dumbest light I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to throw it away after tonight. Yep. Anyway, let's get intake bolts. What size are they? I believe they're a 9/16. That's the wrong size, man. They're 9/16, you bonehead. I gotta have a wrench for that one. Well, this in here don't want to come loose. You don't have enough room to get a socket on it. And then I've done rounded the head off with the wrench. So it's universal wrench time. Well, this ain't looking good, fellas. Nope. Come on, man. Well, when I get this bolt loose, I'll be back. Yeah, it ain't coming loose. Well, I prevailed. I got that bolt out, and I had another one right over here. Tried to be aggravating. Now, let's see. Get this intake popped loose. Ooh, maybe not. Come on, man. Ooh. There we go. Oh, yeah. Well, do we have anything unusual going on in here? Nothing that I see other than a little bit of a milky oil. We'll have to change the oil, run it, I don't know, a few miles down the road and drain it and change it again. Let's get this head pulled off, I reckon. Wait a minute. But I do see a piece of metal in intake runner 6. Yep. Right there. A little piece of metal. We'll inspect that here in a minute. Let's get this head pulled off. Getting the header bolts loose down. Let's make dang sure we don't drop none of these in an intake port. That would be terrible. Header's out of the way. Let me pull that dipstick out of the way, because it's sort of acting like it's in the way. There we go. Get the dipstick out of the way. Oh, look at the water stuff dripping off of that. Dadgum, man. Pretty bad. heavy. Really heavy. Well, let me show you what I'm seeing, fellers, because I don't know. I see no evidence of a blown head gasket. Nowhere. It would have to be in between these two, you know, because this in here was wet too. I don't know. Let me pull the head gasket off and just see. Maybe there's something on the other side. I had forgotten that I sprayed these with the copper stuff. I don't see nothing, man. Nothing. Let's look at the back side of the gasket. I don't see nothing, man. I ain't got no clue. Unless the head is busted. I don't remember. Did I Magnaflux these? I think I did. Let me show you the top of the piston, though. It's been beat to death by whatever got down in there. See how it's got a textured look all over the top of the piston. And see how clean it is compared to this one over here? It's as if it never fired. Now it could have, it could have been cleaned by the head gasket being blown. I'm not sure, fellas. We may have been running on 7 cylinders ever since we built this motor. I don't believe that though. I'm still confused as to what's going on. Let me pull this piece of metal. If I can get this light to be still. Let me pull this piece of metal out of this one here. And there it is. Let's look at it, and whatever I did with that other piece of metal, maybe we can figure out what this is. Well, here's the 2 pieces of metal. Here's my magnet. They are steel and not aluminum. Here's the air cleaner stud. Nothing missing there. Flip her over. Nothing that I can tell missing on the air filter. Let's go look at the carburetor device. See what we see. Well, let me get a light. I don't see anything missing. I'll look it over real good here in a minute. I don't see anything missing there. Flip it over. Oh, I'm spilling gas everywhere. I'll look the carb over here in a little bit, but right offhand, I don't see nothing missing. So I am confused as to what's going on. Maybe that ticking noise, which I think was the rocker hitting the valve cover baffle, maybe that's just a coincidence that all this happened at the same. I don't know, man. It's what have I told y'all before, fellas? This is Backyard Butchery Central, MLS capital of the world. Emphasis on that second part, MLS capital of the world. Stuff happens and you never figure it out. I'm gonna look this head over real good, and we'll look at the block. Could be cracked in between the cylinders. Well, I'm back, and it's not good, fellas. I took my rag here, cleaned the wooters out of cylinder 6. Got to looking. Well, I found this piece of metal down in there, and y'all ain't gonna believe me unless I show you. Let me get my camera down in there. See that area right in the middle of your screen? Yeah, that's what you think it is. It's a crack in the cylinder wall. That's where the wooters were coming from. That's why we couldn't find a leak on the head gasket, because it's coming from the cylinder. Yep. Number 8 over here had a piece of metal in it. It had water in it too. No evidence of blown head gasket. I haven't looked yet, but do we have a cracked cylinder over here somewhere? I don't see no evidence of it yet. No, I don't see no evidence yet, but that don't mean it ain't cracked. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. This is motor number 2, fellers, that's basically destroyed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. The cheapest and quickest thing would be to pull the motor, sleeve that cylinder, put it back in and run it. But I don't know that I want to, because I would like to up the boost on Dude. I got another blower sitting over there. I don't know if y'all remember. A couple of years ago, I bought a Wind 177. This is a 142. It's a bigger blower. Should get, I don't know, 8 to 10 pounds of boost out of it. A lot more horsepower. And this is just a 2-bolt block with cast crank and I-beam rods. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a 350 with a 4-bolt main. These are 30 over pistons. if the block can be bored to 30 over, we can use those pistons. I've got a set of H-beam rods. You'll understand that in, I don't really know, in a couple, 3 weeks that has to do with the Trans Am. But I have an extra set of H-beam rods now. I'd have to buy a steel crank, bore that block out. I'm seriously thinking about doing it. Let me mull it over tonight, and I will let y'all know tomorrow what we're going to do. Before we get to working on old dude over there today, let me ask you a question. Have you ever entered your full name and address into a Google search and saw what kind of information is out there about you on the interwebs? Well, I did the other day, and I was like, okay. They had the amount I paid for my house 20 years ago. Why? Why would somebody need that information? I don't know, but if you would like to know how to get rid of that information, well, let me tell you about the sponsor of this week's video, Incogni. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from multiple sites, including online directories, people search sites, and even commercial databases. The process is fully automated for hundreds of known data brokers, companies that collect and sell your data without your consent. Data can reappear on these sites, so they repeatedly remove it for you. Websites can legally publish and profit from deeply personal information, names, court records, and even political views. Even one unaddressed profile can lead to risk. Criminals can use exposed personal information for scams, stalking, harassment, and other illegal activities. Your home address and phone number are exposed, so stalkers can easily find you or your household members. Anyone, including employers, landlords, and random strangers, can access your personal information. You can protect your privacy in 3 easy steps. Create your account and share with Incogni the bare minimum of personal information that's needed to find your profiles online. Number 2, authorize Incogni to remove it. With your one-time approval, Incogni can legally contact hundreds of data brokers and websites on your behalf. Step 3, remove yourself from the web. Incogni can remove your data from data brokers in their list and any site you send them with their custom removals feature. Incogni Unlimited is their most comprehensive and powerful data removal plan yet. It essentially unlocks an unlimited number of removal requests to any number of websites which expose personal data without consent. Here's how to remove it with the unlimited plan with custom removals. You submit a link for removal by copying the entire link to where your personal information is exposed. Go to Custom Removals tab in your Incogni dashboard and paste it there. Click Submit to start the process. If eligible, their team works on removing your personal information. Step 3, your removal request is completed and personal information removed. Go do a search. Put your name, address in Google search bar. See what comes up. Yep, pretty amazing. If you want to know how to get rid of it, we'll follow the link in the description below. Use the discount code THATGARAGE and save 60% on an annual membership from Incogni. If only they could make the problems with this truck disappear, that would be awesome. That ain't going to happen, so let's get back over and get to work on this old pile of junk. Test the next day again? I don't know, fellers. The days run together when all you do is continually work on junk. Yeah. Junk is what I own, y'all know that. But it does get annoying when everything's broke down. And, well, half of it's my fault. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure I did a lot of pondering last night. I'm pretty sure I know what happened and how it happened, why it happened. Yep. Let me refresh your memory. Here, a couple months ago, remember we worked on, we did a fan shroud and 2 fans. We had to work on the carb also because it was flooding when it gets hot. Well, I'm fixing to show you a picture that will prove my theory. Remember when I told you I raised the hood and the air cleaner assembly was all cockeyed? Well, that means that stud, had pulled out. Remember me telling you the threads on the carb were stripped? Well, I got to thinking last night, something's missing off of this. Well, let me show you the picture right here. I'm going to point an arrow to the nut that used to be on this air cleaner stud. That, my friends, is what went down in those cylinders and has caused us to have to pull this motor and fix it. Busted the cylinder. I'm hoping number 8 ain't busted, but it did have water in it. We'll get to that in a minute. But yes, sir, that's what happened. The reason I put that nut on there was a jam nut, because sometimes this nut would hang up and it wouldn't let me take just the nut off. The whole stud would screw out. I'll put that jam nut on there, not knowing that the threads were stripped on the carb. There you go. Once again, nobody's fault but my own that nut ended up in that motor. How it made it by the blower, which I know it's small, but still, man, that's pretty crazy. Now, let me tell you what we're fixing to do. We're going to pull the motor, but I'm not tearing it apart. It's going to be sitting on the engine stand just like it is with all the guts in it. We're going to cover everything up, and I'm going to bore that cylinder out, sleeve it, then bore it out for the piston, put her back together, put it in the truck on down the road. Yep. I'm sure some of y'all are shaking your head right now. I can't believe that he's going to not tear that motor apart. He's going to get metal shavings all in everything. Well, you better believe it, because you're fixing to see it. Yep. And I don't think we're going to get metal shavings anywhere. You cover everything up, should be okay. I'm tired of tearing motors apart just to put them right back together. I ain't doing it. Nope, not to this one anyways. So, let's get her out of there, get it on the engine stand, get the boring bar on it, and get to boring. We got to get the radiator out of the way. Firstly, I just pulled that bottom hose, and it wasn't a whole lot of water came out. Try and get this fan stuff unwired so I can pull the radiator out of the way. Apparently, I thought it was a good idea to put about 15 wraps of tape around these little fellers here. Alright, I think, let's see. Yeah, that's the only 2 wires on the fan. So, that is a loose. Let's get the radiator out now. Wait a minute. I got to unscrew this here too. I'm going to put these back so we don't lose them. Come on out, little buddy. Oh yeah! The alternator is sticking way out there on the side. Let's go ahead and take it off, just get it out of the way. Get these header bolts out. Then I got front motor mounts, bell housing bolts, and I think it'll be ready to be pulled out. I got one right here. I got to get with a wrench, and then the headers will be loose. You know what? Before we get any further, let me pull them plugs, because I guarantee you they'll get broke. Yep. I'm going to put a socket on this back one, and then use a 3/4 wrench on the end of that socket and turn it just like that right there. Alright, let me get the rest of these out. I want to look at them, because, you know, a piece of metal could have went down this side too. Don't know. When we get it out, I'll put the camera down in each spark plug hole and see what do we got. Let's look at that one. It's a little wet, but that don't look like water. That looks more like oil than anything. Interesting. What about the rest of them? This one here. These actually look a little rich. Plus maybe a little bit of Earl. What do we have? Oh, it looks good. I think we're okay. Let me get this header. Oh, I got one more bolt. I forgot. Got to get it with a wrench. Let me get this off, and then I'll get the motor mounts out of the way. Unbolted, I mean. Well, I think it's time to play a game once more called What Did You Forget to Unhook? But let me raise this up just a little bit more. As soon as I get this chain hooked up, well, we'll play that game. Well, I think everything that needs to be unhooked is unhooked. Everything that needs to be hooked up is hooked up, so let's crank on it. See what she does. I got to get some weight off of it and then pull it forward to get it off of the dowel pins on the bell housing. Remember, our bell housing is mounted to a cross member, so the transmission ain't gonna go nowhere. Come on, man. Tell you what, I'm gonna give her a yank or two on this, see if it'll come loose. Yes, sir, it sure did. Awesome. Well, let's go on up with it, make sure Ain't nothing hanging. I will probably have to pull those headers off going back in. We'll just have to see. I was hoping I can do this without having to take that hood off. Let's go forward, see what it does. I think I'm gonna have to take that dead blame hood off. Probably so. I was hoping I wouldn't. Why does this keep wanting to turn sideways on me? What's going on here? Yep, I'm going to pull the hood. Let me do that. I'll be right back. Now, how can I get this off of here by myself? Oh yeah! Well, it looks like it wants to go to that side, so let's go to that side. Whatever you do, don't scratch the paint. Oh yeah! Now let's go on up with it. Wait a minute. We left one thing hooked up. We lost the game, fellers. Yep. Fuel line going to the fuel pump from the fuel tank. That thing's stretched tighter than a banjo string. That's why it was turning cockeyed like it is. You big dummy. Alright. Now, I'm pretty sure everything's loose. Let's get this thing out of this truck. I think that'll do it. Ow, my toe. With Artez, we finally got it out. Where's my engine stand? Right there. Let me get it on the engine stand. Then I got to go change my shirt because I have smashed a stink bug on me somewhere on my shirt. It stinks. Then I'm going to take a break. Then I'll come back. We'll start draining the oil, pull the oil pan, pull that piston out, and hopefully go to boring it and get that sleeve put in it. Who's ready for a chocolate milkshake? With some water, because there's a lot of water on the bottom. The tub may not be big enough. What in the world, man? I better go get another tub, because that there's going to fill up. Now we're getting a little chocolate. There it goes. Let's get the oil pan off. Got one bolt left. See how chocolatey it is in here. Actually, I need to get something because there's going to be lots of dripping. Let me find a piece of cardboard or something to stick under here. Alright, I got me some cardboard in here to catch some of the goop that's going to drip. Well, it ain't bad. Lots and lots of chocolatey milk down in there, though. Yep, sure is. But, lots of aeration, but I don't feel no metal. No, that feels pretty good. Now what we got to do is get piston 6 and 4 out. Here's why. Number 4, because that's what my holder has to go up in that holds my born bar down. So we got to take it out too. Number 6 is right here, easy to get, so let's do it first. Come on, man. Let me try the big old shanty locks. See if I can't rock it back and forth. So they don't want to come off. Ta-da! What does that bearing look like? Let me wipe it off. We'll look at them in a minute, but I'm okay with that. A little scuffed up, but there's nothing deep. Yeah, it's all right. Trying to find number 4. Where did it go? Is that it there? No, it's 2. So 4 will be there. I can get to it now. Hits keep coming, fellers. Just now when I was rotating the motor over, well, I got done and my socket flew off. And I think I just put a hole in the radiator for the old dude. Yep. I give up, man. Anyway, let's get these pistons out. By George, that's the way to do that. I'm gonna do that from now on. Yeah, it's a little, I can't feel it. Well, I can just barely with my fingernail. I don't think I'm gonna worry about it. Nope. Now, can I get these things out of here without tearing stuff up? I just heard one of the rings pop. Let me get something to push with. All right, there's number 6. All right, let's get this one out of here. There it is. Let's have a look, see at all the bearings. This is, what is this, number 4? It's got some scarring up here. I can barely feel it with my fingernail. Number 4 piston right here. Now it's got some stuff on it. That's, yeah, it's down to the copper color. May put a set of bearings in it. I'm not sure. I don't really want to because I'll have to pull the motor apart. I'm over that, fellas. I don't want to do it. Anyway, this is number 6. It's shiny. Got some scratches, but you can't feel none of it. It's good. Now the top half, it's okay too. This would be great. My only concern is the top one on number 8. You can see some copper there. I may buy one bearing for it and just let it ride because I'm just telling you, fellas, I don't care anymore. Anyway, let's get this thing flipped up. I got to do some measuring on the, we call it sleeve. And then I got to get the boring bar set up. I'm not sure we're going to bore tonight. We may make one pass, but it's getting kind of late. We'll see. But let me get everything set up. Well, I got the boring bar set up. I got everything taped up that I can. There's some few water passages right in here. I don't see none over here. What I might do before we start is just dab some grease or Vaseline down in them to catch the chips. I'm not real worried about them getting down in this cylinder, which that piston's at the top anyway. You can vacuum that out. My main concern is I'm bouncing and going up in the cam tunnel, but you can see I got me some cardboard as a ramp, and it goes up and covers the cam, and hopefully it'll just slide right out. And of course I got the lifter valley covered up. I think we'll be okay. Y'all might be thinking, well, he's crazy for not tearing that motor apart. Fellers, y'all don't know what I've been through over the last month or so with stuff tearing up. Most of it's my fault. I'm over it. I don't feel like tearing the motor apart. I just want it back in the truck where it'll run. Anyway, I'll tell you something else too. I was inspecting the cylinders. Crosshatch is gone. Now there's some rings, marks all the way up and down. Would they be radial? They ain't crosshatch. There's no angle to them. If you will recall, if you've seen the build on this motor, man, I had a time getting it honed out because I didn't have the proper things, and that's why I made that hone tub over there. Man, that makes it so much easier. And then I've discovered new hones and new hone stones. I'm anxious to see, because I'm worried about, if my crosshatch is gone, that ain't no good. I'll tell you what, the Trans Am motor, I pulled it apart, or I pulled the head off at 145,000 miles. It still had crosshatch in it. This thing, if it's got 3,000 miles on it, it would shock me, and there ain't no crosshatch at all anymore. That ain't no good. But what I might do is, this is the first one that I built like that. Might pull a plug out of the old 40 because it's got probably the most miles of anything. Pull a plug out, stick the camera in there, and see if we got crosshatch. I might do that tomorrow if I can get time. Speaking of time, we're done for the day. It's getting kind of late. Tomorrow I got 2 yards to mow. Then I got 2 drive shafts over here I got to weld up. The fellers at Hoopties and Hot Rods, I got to weld up one end on each one. They dropped them off for over a month ago, and well, I've just been really busy. So anyway, I got to get that done for them fellers. Once I do that, then there's nothing else bothering us, and we can work on this. I'm hoping to get it sleeved, done, honed. It would be nice if we could get it put back together, but that's a lofty goal considering I got to mow 2 yards and do drive shafts and all that stuff. Anyway, tomorrow afternoon, we'll get back out here. Oh, let me tell you this too. You might be wondering, you might have saw in the background, the boring bar was on the Trans Am motor. I was fixing to fix it, And, well, I'm waiting on parts. That's why it's just sitting here. You might be wondering, well, how did he get a sleeve so quickly? Because he just found out yesterday that it was cracked. This was meant for the Trans Am motor. I got it 3 days ago. I've ordered another for yet. But anyway, tomorrow afternoon, sometime, we'll get back out here and go to working on this. Well, that's 2 days later. Yep, I didn't get to work on it Saturday, after I mowed the yards and welded up the drive shafts, because I got out here, was going to measure the sleeve and realized my micrometer set only went to 4 inches. This is roughly 4.190. So I had to order a micrometer. Here it is. I had to wait on it for 2 days. Finally got it. I've been measuring. This is what you do on a sleeve. You want to measure it across here. Top, middle, bottom. Turner, what was that, 90 degrees? Measure top, middle, bottom. You got to average everything. I haven't done any averaging yet, but here are the measurements that I got. You can see that was within 2 10,000ths, dead on. 2 10,000ths, 1 10,000ths, 1 10,000ths, dead on. Pretty accurate, but you can also see that it's tapered approximately 1/2 thousandth. Am I reading that right? No, 1 1/2. 1 and something. A little over 1,000th is tapered on this side. Over here, yeah, about 1,000th. Anyway, let me figure out my average, and then we got to go 2,000ths smaller on the hole, because you want about 2,000ths press on this sleeve. Once I get my average number, then I got to set up the dial bore gauge, which is in here. Let me do that, and I'll be back, and I'll let you know what we're going to bore it to. I've done all the mathing, so y'all don't have to. Here is what we got to bore that hole out to, 0.1883. That's with a 2 1,000ths press fit right there. And by press fit, that does not mean I'm actually pressing or beating it into the block. Here's something we got to do before we start boring. I got to have some dry ice, and we got to put it in this cooler. Then we put the cylinder, or the sleeve, in the dry ice and let it shrink. Hopefully it shrinks enough. She'll just slip right on down in the bore. Then we will bolt something on top of it, because it might have a tendency to try to push itself up after, when it's cooling, or when it's warming up. So we'll have to bolt something on top of it to hold it down. Let me get my CO2 tank off the welder. It's a brand new one. I haven't used it. We'll get some dry ice and put it in that cooler right there. I have never made dry ice. I'm using my glasses because I don't want some of that cold stuff hitting me in my eyeball and making me go blind. But anyway, I've never made dry ice. I did study up on a little bit using one of these tanks. Some people use CO2 fire extinguisher. Any CO2, you can make it. Well, here's the deal. I've already tried it once. What I'm going to do is put a sock over the outlet, turn it on. Hopefully the sock will fill up with dry ice. Well, it didn't work. So I was like, well, what's going on? Well, here's the deal. This is for welding. So you want the gas, not the liquid. So it probably does not have a dip tube that goes to the bottom to get the liquid. It just takes gas off the top. So what we're going to do is at least lay it on its side. I may prop it up with something like this. Let's go ahead and do that. That way we can get the liquid out, and that's what's going to make our dry ice. Let me find something to prop this up with just a wee bit. We'll use this. This was meant for the danged old Ford truck. I never put it in there. We got to do that sometime. Now, let's make some dry ice. I'm going to put my welding glove on too, because I don't want my hand frostbit. Got my glasses so I don't lose my eyesight. Let's see what happens. I got a little bit, not a lot. Let's keep doing it. Well, I guess I can hold it like that. I don't need that glove. It ain't doing right. I need it to be out here. Let me experiment. Maybe I can figure it out eventually. Something like this. Let's see what happens. Oh, we made some then. Yep. Dry ice, CO2, in its solid form is at minus 109.3 degrees. It's not a whole lot, but I think we'll put that inside. I got 2 or 3 more socks, and I'll just keep making it till I get enough. Anyway, let me make this. We'll get this in the cooler and we'll start boring. Well, guess what I did? I went on to town and bought me some dry ice because I was going to waste that whole tank. And the feller, I told him maybe half full. My goodness, he dang near filled it up. This stuff ain't cheap either, $2.50 a pound, and that was $40-something. I didn't want, but maybe that much. My goodness. Anyway, let's get over here and go to cutting on this block. I already got it. Got this centered up. Let's just make us a first pass and see what it does. Well, I've been doing my final setup. You have to leave about a 1/4 inch where you don't cut around the bottom for the sleeve to sit on top of, or else it could just, fall right on through, possibly. So I've been setting that up. I had to make me a stop. Normally, let me run this up real quick. Normally, this right here, this feller here, see this is moving up and down? Well, this rod here would come down here and hit this and turn switch off. But that's not, it may stop at a different place every time, even if it's just 10 or 20 thousandths. Well, I want it to be a little more accurate than that. So I got me a socket and a bolt inside that socket. We'll sit her up right there. And when this thing comes down and hits that, I'll know to turn it off. When I get down here close, I'll be cranking it by hand because I don't want it auto feed and jam into that. Anyway, let's turn the cutter on and go to cutting. All right, I got the cutter set. I don't know exactly how much we're cutting. Just as long as we're cutting a little bit. That way we can establish, where we're at. Fire in the hole. Put her in auto feed over here. Here we go. Yeah, that's just a really light skim cut there. That'll, tell us where we're at, and then next cut, I don't know, I'll take probably 25, 30 thousandths maybe. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna cut her off because we're getting pretty close to this. Leave her out of gear. Turn it on. This is gonna be hard to do slow. It sure is. I may have to make 2 or 3 passes. Yep. Anyway, that's how I got to do it. That's the stop. Let me turn her off and let's just look at things, see what we got. Well, I can tell you right now, my cardboard and stuff, it ain't doing what I wanted. Yeah, we'll have to take this motor apart if we want it to survive, because this little stuff right here getting everywhere. Anyway, what do we look like down in here? We all won't never be able to see it, but I can see my lip down there. Let me get down here. Maybe you can see it from here. Probably not. No, I can barely see it. But yeah, it's doing what I want it to do. It's leaving about a 1/4 inch lip at the highest spot in the cylinder. Anyway, let me keep on cutting. I'll be back in a little while. This is the second pass, and I just found out the limit of this little machine right here. I was trying to do a 30 thousandths cut, 30 thousandths total, 15 off of one side. No, sir. It went about 1/8 inch and she locked up. So I'm doing about 15 thousandths total, and it's going to take a while, fellas, because I got 150 thousandths, or actually 120 or so to go. It's going to be here a while. Yep. We got about 24 thousandths to go. This is a 10 thousandths cut. I'll probably do another 10. That'll leave 4. Probably got 3 to 4 more passes, and then we can slip that sleeve on in there. Coming up on their stop, I'm going to take it out of gear about right here, and very slowly turn it by hand till we bottom out right there. All right, let's see what we got. This was a mistake. If I haven't told you already, it was a mistake to try to do this with this motor put together because the crank is sort of in the way. But what do we have? That says we got about 11, 10 and a half, 11, somewhere in there. Let me take another pass. Take about a 7 or 8 thousandths. All right, is this the last pass? Let me run this on down and we'll see. What do we have this time around? Fellas, I think we may be dead on. Let me see. Yeah. We may be a half a thousandth over. I'm good with that. Sure enough, man. All right. Well, let's get the sleeve ready to go. Well, I got our board out. I just checked it from the top with the dial bore gauge. We're dead on to a quarter over, depending on where you measured. I'm good with that. Yep. But see the little lip down in there? That's what she's going to sit on. See all the shavings all over my crank? Yep. We're going to have to tear apart. That was a dumb mistake on my part. Why did y'all let me do that? Anyway, let me go get the sleeve, drop her in there, and then we're going to use this. This is, what is it, my piston stop. Put it on top of there, bolt it down, because it may try to pop up as it cools or heats up. Anyway, let's drop her in there and see what it does. All right, will it or won't it go? Sort of, not really. Let me get something to whoop on it with, a piece of wood and hammer. Hurry up for it heats up. I really thought it would just slip right in. Is that it? No, sir. No, sir, it ain't. I need some more wood. Well, there went my hammerhead. What in the world is going on around here? Well, my hammerhead won't stay on, so we'll use the big hammer, I guess. What we look like? I do believe we're down. Oh yeah, we look good. Awesome. Now, get this little feller bolted in. Ta-da! We have successfully installed our first sleeve in a block here at This and That Garage, Backyard Butchery Emporium, MLS capital of the world. There you go. Yep. I got a little worried because, you know, this thing's heating up. Buddy, she'll lock in place and you ain't going to drive it in. This dead blame hammer right here, I'm going to throw it away. I took one big swing and the head of the hammer went that away. Went and got it, tried to put it back together. Every time I'd hit it to get it back together, it just fly apart again. Had to go get the big old hammer right there. That drove her home. Oh, yeah. I think what we're going to do, which is probably warmed up enough already to be in place, but I'm going to let her sit here all night because it's getting kind of late. Fellas, I've been running around town doing everything else as usual. I got to go back to town to the grocery store. We're going to let her sit here all night. I might come back out here in a little while and start tearing it apart like I should have done to begin with. Oh, there's shavings everywhere. I'll have to clean everything up. And then tomorrow we'll come out here and bore it for the piston. We'll have to cut the top of that off because, as you can see, she sticks up quite a bit. And then I reckon that'll probably wrap this video up. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow, and as you can see, the motor is disassembled. I've been looking at the crank bearings and rod bearings. Well, let's just go look at them. I'll show you what kind of shape they're in. They're not bad at all. We'll pick the middle one. What does it look like? Y'all look in there. Ain't nothing wrong with that main bearing. And the bottom half of your main bearing, that's the one that takes the brunt of the force. The top half don't. And then the rod is just the opposite. The top half of the rod is what takes the brunt of the force. Let me go over here where the rods are. And we'll look at them very quickly. They do have wear. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's not bad. I'm not worried about them except for, what is this, numeral 4? See that copper? Let me turn it around. See that copper in there? I think I got a set of bearings somewhere. We'll replace that one for sure. The rest of them, I'm okay with. I tell you what I might do. I don't remember what kind of Earl pressure he had running down the road. I'll look at some old videos, and if I think we need to up the oil pressure, then we may do that. And here's why. If you will recall, you know, we dyno dude. He didn't make but 340 horsepower at the rear wheels. Don't know if that was on 7 or 8 cylinders, but he did make quite a bit of torques. Oh yeah, 478 at the rear wheels. Yep, that's quite a bit of torque. That's what's going to slam on your bearings. So we might up the oil pressure, putting a stiffer spring in the oil pump, or I may just buy a whole new oil pump. I'm not sure. High pressure. I don't fool with high volume because, well, they just cause issues. Also, let's look at the cam real quickly. It looks great. There's nothing wrong with it. Even the gear looks okay. Remember me telling y'all that you're supposed to run a melanized gear with this type of cam? Well, you run a melanized with anything. But the gear looks okay, but I will probably go ahead and buy one. Well, it depends on the cost. I think they're like $100. We'll just wait and see. But we'll probably do that, yep. Now let me show y'all the cylinders. There's no crosshatch. You see those grooves? That's not crosshatch. That is from when I was using some harsh stones trying to get this stupid thing to hone out. You know, it had crosshatch when we got done. But like I said, this was the first block I had ever bored out. And what is this mark right here now? Hang on a minute. Huh, interesting. What cylinder is this? 135. Well, that's an odd little, I don't feel it, but there's a little blemish there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. See that line going down? Can't feel it. I think it'll be all right. But here is what I want to do. The only cylinder I see any crosshatch in is this one right here. And it has a very, very minimal amount. Here's what I want to do. Since there's no crosshatch, I don't like that at all. We're going to re-hone the thing. I'm going to buy a new set of rings. We'll re-ring it. Put it back together. I'll probably change that one rod bearing. Put the little feller back together. Truck on down the road. I think it'll be okay. I do want to check cylinder, what is this, 8? Remember, we did find one little piece of metal in it. There's no evidence that, well, it didn't even mark the piston up that I could find. But I might do a little bit of a magnafluxing on that cylinder just to make sure there's no crack. Also, we still have to bore out the sleeve that we just put in. I was going to do that today, put it in today's video, but, you know, I got done editing last night, and we're at the hour mark. That's about how long I like my videos, so I reckon we'll cut her off right here. Be looking for all of that next week. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur.